There's a single number that decides whether the $4,000 zero turn you're about to buy lasts a few hundred hours or a few thousand. It's not the horsepower, it's not the deck size, it's not anything printed on that glossy tag hanging from the handlebars at the dealership. The number that actually matters is usually buried in a service manual most buyers never open. And once you learn to read it, the words commercial grade stop meaning much at all. Because here's the truth, commercial grade is a marketing term. There's no universal standard behind it, no test a mower has to pass to wear that label. So those two words tell you very little about what's actually underneath the seat. Many machines in the $3,000 to $5,000 range aren't true commercial mowers. They're residential machines marketed to look like they are. To be clear, these are not junk mowers. Most are solid residential machines that can serve a homeowner with a few acres for years. The problem starts when buyers expect them to survive heavy, day-after-day work they were never designed to handle. And here's where things get interesting. A lot of videos warning about fake commercial mowers get a critical detail wrong. They identify the wrong transmission. I verified the actual part numbers installed on these machines because that's what really determines what you're buying. The results are surprising. One mower many people dismiss is actually running legitimate commercial hardware, while another wearing a legendary badge hides the same residential drivetrain found on machines costing thousands less. Before we look at any mower, here's the 4-point check I used to evaluate every machine in this video. First, the transmission. This is the master key. Hydro Gear builds most of the drive systems in this category, and their lineup follows a clear hierarchy. The EZT, ZT2200, and ZT2800 are homeowner duty transmissions designed for seasonal use and moderate workloads. Then comes a major jump to the ZT3100 and ZT3400, true commercial units featuring heavier internal components, charge pumps, and serviceable designs built for daily operation. The catch is that this information rarely appears on the showroom tag. It is usually hidden in the service manual. Rule number 1. Before believing the word commercial, find out which Hydro Gear transmission is actually underneath the mower. Second, the engine. Buyers often see a Kawasaki badge and assume they're getting a commercial machine. Not necessarily. Kawasaki's FR series is residential, while the FS and FX series are commercial. Kohler follows a similar pattern, with the residential 7000 series and the commercial Command Pro line. A respected engine badge alone does not make a mower commercial. Third, the deck. Fabricated decks are generally stronger than stamped decks, and lower gauge numbers mean thicker steel. But manufacturers love promoting commercial-style fabricated decks because they're easy to see. Meanwhile, the drivetrain doing all the hard work may still be residential. A tough deck cannot compensate for a weak transmission. Fourth, read the warranty. This is where manufacturers quietly reveal how the machine is intended to be used. Look for commercial use exclusions, consumer use language, and hour limitations. Start with the Husqvarna Z254F, because it passes the eye test better than almost anything in this class. And that's exactly what makes it the perfect first lesson. Walk up to it, and everything your gut checks for says, serious machine. There's a Kawasaki badge on the engine. There's a wide 54-inch fabricated steel deck, welded, not stamped, the genuinely good kind. It's priced up around $3,500 to $4,000, sitting on the floor not far from Husqvarna's actual commercial mowers. Your brain connects the dots all by itself. Big deck, trusted engine, near commercial price, so it must be a near commercial machine. And let me be fair right here. For a homeowner with 2 or 3 acres mowing on weekends, This is a genuinely good mower that'll run beautifully for years. That part is real. Now run our 4 checks and watch where it quietly comes apart. Start with the engine, the thing you trusted first. It's a Kawasaki FR691V, and the FR series, remember, is Kawasaki's residential line, not the FX or FS engines that go into true commercial machines. So it's an excellent engine, but a residential Tier 1. The deck passes, fabricated and real, no argument there. But then you reach the master key, the transmission, and this is where the money quietly stopped flowing. It's a Hydro Gear EZT, the entry residential unit, the same tier of drive system you'll find in mowers costing $1,000 less. And the warranty closes the case. It's a consumer warranty, written around homeowner use. So look at what you actually have. A residential engine, a residential transmission, and a consumer warranty, all wearing a big fabricated deck and a near-commercial price tag. That deck is the one commercial-feeling part Husqvarna can let you see and touch, and in my view, it's doing a lot of heavy lifting to sell everything behind it. None of this makes the Z254F a bad mower. It makes it a residential machine at the very top of what residential can charge, and a trap only if you buy it believing it'll survive the daily, route after route punishment the EZT underneath was simply never built to take. Which brings us to a mower that runs the same play with an extra twist, a name that sits right below a real commercial line, and a transmission half the internet will swear it's hiding, even though it isn't the one they think. Let's go see what's actually bolted under the Cub Cadet. Now the Cub Cadet Ultima ZT142, and this one matters because it teaches you to distrust not just the marketing, but even the people who think they're debunking the marketing. Cub Cadet parks this machine at the very top of their residential lineup, right below their commercial tier, so you feel like you're reaching for the real thing without quite paying for it. And if you go online, you'll find the popular take repeated everywhere, that the ZT1 secretly hides a cheap, tough torque K46 transmission. Here's the problem. That's wrong, and understanding why is worth 1 minute because it makes you sharper than most of the internet. A tough torque K46 is a single integrated transaxle, one sealed unit that drives both rear wheels through a differential. That's how a lawn tractor works, the kind with a steering wheel. But a zero-turn doesn't work that way. It needs 2 completely independent drive units, one for each rear wheel, so it can spin one wheel forward and the other back and pivot on the spot. So a zero-turn physically cannot run on a single K46. What the ZT142 actually uses is dual Hydro Gear EZT 2200 transaxles. 2 of them, one per side. Now here's the kicker. That doesn't rescue Cub Cadet, because the EZT 2200 is still the entry residential unit. So the marketing oversells it, the debunkers named the wrong part, and you, holding the real number, are the only one in the whole conversation who's actually right. Run the rest of the check and the picture holds. The engine on the 42 is a Kawasaki FR651V. A good engine, but once again, the residential FR line, not a commercial FX. The deck is where it stings a little extra. The standard ZT142 ships with a 42-inch stamped steel deck, not even fabricated. You have to step up to the separate fab version to get welded steel. And you're still paying somewhere around $3,200 to $3,500 for it. And the warranty, predictably, is a consumer warranty. To be fair, that Kawasaki engine is genuinely reliable. The corrosion-treated frame is a real nice touch, and for a homeowner mowing a medium-sized yard, this thing cuts clean and lasts. It absolutely earns a spot in your garage. It just doesn't earn the word commercial. It's a residential machine sold at the ceiling of residential pricing, and the only thing standing between you and that truth is one transmission part number that nobody, not the brochure, and not the comment section, is showing you correctly. Which sets up the boldest example in this entire video. The next mower wears the most trusted badge of the bunch, green and yellow, and underneath, it runs the very same kind of residential drive system you'd find on a big box machine costing half as much. Now the John Deere Z254F, and this is the one that's going to sting a little because John Deere is the most trusted name in this entire video. Green and yellow, generations of it. Nothing runs like a Deere. For a lot of buyers, that badge alone is the reason they walk through the door. And that trust is exactly what's being charged for here. Let me be clear up front. John Deere absolutely earns its reputation on the right machines. Their commercial Z-Track line, the Z900 series, is the real thing. Those mowers carry genuine commercial hydro gear drive systems, the ZT3400 class, built for crews who run them 8 hours a day and can't afford a breakdown in the middle of August. When a landscaper bets his livelihood on green and yellow, that is the hardware he's betting on. The Z254F is not that machine. It wears the same badge and shares almost none of that engineering. And here's where I'll correct something you'll hear repeated all over the internet, including by people who are trying to expose this exact problem. They'll tell you the entry Z-Track hides a tough torque transmission. It doesn't. Pull the part number, and what's actually bolted under the Z254F is a Hydro Gear EZT, the entry residential unit. The very same drive family that's in the Husqvarna we just looked at, the same family in the Cub Cadet, and the same family you'll find on a big box mower wearing a far less famous name and a far smaller price tag. Sit with that for a second, because that is the whole green tax in a single sentence. You are paying a premium for the most respected badge in the business, bolted on top of the same residential drivetrain as machines that cost considerably less. Now, the engine is a capable 22 horsepower V-twin. The Excel Deep Deck genuinely cuts well. Deere does fit, finish, and comfort better than almost anyone in this price range, and the dealer network standing behind it is real. As a residential mower for a homeowner with a couple of acres, it is a good one, and I won't pretend otherwise. But the badge is doing the heavy lifting here, not the hardware. And the proof is sitting in Deere's own showroom. Walk past the Z254F to a true commercial Z900, and the price jumps into 5 figures. And a huge slice of that jump is exactly the commercial drive system the Z254F doesn't have. John Deere will happily show you what a commercial actually costs. Take the Troy-built Mustang Z42 and the Craftsman Z5400 together, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why they almost belong in the same breath. Here's what I'll hand both of them right away. They're honest about what they are. Neither one screams commercial grade the way the machines we've already covered do. They're value mowers, priced around $3,000, sold to a homeowner who wants a real zero-turn without paying for a premium badge. The Troy-built runs a 22 horsepower Kohler 7000 engine on a 42-inch stamped deck. The Craftsman runs the same Kohler 7000 on a 46-inch steel deck. For a flat couple of acres with a big box store down the road, either one will cut your grass for years, and there is nothing dishonest about that. If your expectations match the price, these are perfectly fine machines. But run the part numbers, and something interesting falls right out. Both of these are built by the same company, what used to be MTD, now owned by Stanley Black & Decker. And so, by the way, is the Cub Cadet we looked at earlier. These aren't just similar brands competing on a shelf. They're siblings on shared platforms, built in the same factories, sharing parts and engineering. And the giveaway is hiding in plain sight. Look at the model numbers, and you'll see the Troy-built and the Craftsman both carry the same 17AR factory code, the fingerprint of one platform wearing two different paint jobs. So that careful comparison shopping you thought you were doing in the big box aisle, Troy-Bilt versus Craftsman versus Cub Cadet, is, a lot of the time, three colors of the same machine. The transmission settles the rest. The Troy-Bilt rides on dual Hydro Gear EZT2200 units, the entry residential tier, and the Craftsman spec sheet lists nothing more than dual hydrostatic. No commercial transaxle named anywhere, because there isn't one to name. And here's the part that costs you down the road. Bought at a big box store, that store won't repair it when the drive system wears out. The Ariens Icon XD is the most brazen machine in this entire video, and the one that makes the whole pattern impossible to unsee. Because every other mower up to this point at least hid its residential drivetrain under silence. Ariens doesn't hide it. Ariens decorates it. Let me look at the machine fairly first. The Icon XD is genuinely well put together. A fully welded tubular steel frame, a 52-inch fabricated deck made of real 11-gauge steel, a strong Kawasaki or Kohler engine, and a comfortable ride. At around $4,000, for a homeowner with a few acres, it is a lot of capable residential mower for the money. I have no problem with the machine. What I have a problem with is the words. Go to Ariens' own marketing and read how they describe the transmission. They call it, and I want you to hear this exactly, a professional-grade transmission. They call the deck commercial style. Now run our master check on that professional-grade transmission. It's a Hydro Gear EZT, the entry residential unit, the exact same tier we found under the Husqvarna, the Cub Cadet, and the John Deere. There is nothing professional-grade about it. It's the bottom rung of the Hydro Gear ladder, wearing an adjective it never earned. And this is right where the popular take gets it wrong all over again. You'll hear people say the Icon XD carries a ZT2800, a genuine step up. It doesn't. That's the Icon XL, a different machine. The XD runs the plain EZT, so the truth is actually a little worse than the marketing implies, and a little better than the rumor claims, and the only way to know either is the part number. So let's talk about the Husqvarna Z61. The machine that half the mower internet holds up as the ultimate fake commercial ripoff. At around $4,800 to $5,000, with a massive 61-inch fabricated cutting deck, it is easily the biggest target in this entire category, and popular commentary videos love to swing at it blindly. There is just one massive problem with that narrative. When you actually pull the manufacturer part number, you find out the MZ61 is running a dual Hydro Gear ZT3100 drive setup. The ZT3100 is a genuinely commercial-grade transaxle built with heavy cut steel gears, internal charge pumps, and fully serviceable fluid filters, the exact entry-tier system that real landscaping crews run every single day. The hardware tell we use to expose every other deceptive machine completely clears this Husqvarna, proving the mechanical drive bones underneath perfectly match the investment on the tag. The machine that everyone across social media loves to call the biggest liar is, on the single component that actually decides commercial durability, telling the absolute truth. But here is the ultimate, mind-bending irony that perfectly connects to why 70% of these so-called commercial mowers are a complete lie. While Husqvarna gave this machine a true commercial drivetrain, they flipped their own playbook and paired it with a residential tier Kawasaki FR series engine instead of a commercial FX or FS power plant. It is a complete corporate reversal from their smaller units, proving that even when a manufacturer hands you the exact commercial durability you are looking for in the transmissions, they will still try to claw back their profit margins by taking a sneaky shortcut right under the engine shroud. The real lesson here is that corporate labeling lies in both directions. It maliciously oversells the capabilities of low-tier residential platforms, and it falsely convicts the honest, heavy-duty machines. A glossy sticker will always lie to you, but the manufacturer's part number stamped into the metal housing cannot. Authentic commercial capability begins with a measurable, certified step up in structural hardware, starting on the intermediate retail market with a machine like the Ariens Icon XD, which steps you up to a Hydrogear ZT2800 transaxle for land managers who push their equipment past a casual weekend run. Above that tier live the true continuous-duty workhorses like the Gravely ZT-HD60, which runs a commercial Hydrogear ZT3100 system engineered to effortlessly handle daily thermal loads. Step up again into the Skag lineup, and you are buying into heavy ZT3400 commercial drive systems and the iconic cast iron blade spindle housings that commercial landscapers rely on for a bulletproof repair record. At the very top of the hierarchy, a machine like the Ferris SX800 places a fully independent coil-over suspension platform on top of heavy-duty commercial hydraulics. Because when you are sitting in an operator seat for 8 hours a day, comfort becomes a critical durability component. These true commercial systems run anywhere from $5,800 to over $8,500, and that price tag is simply what authentic, commercial-grade steel and serviceable hydraulics cost to manufacture. To walk away from the dealership floor without getting trapped, establish this absolute rule. Stop reading the adjectives on the sales tag, look the salesperson dead in the eye, and ask exactly which Hydrogear transaxle model is bolted into the chassis. If the answer is an EZT, a ZT2200, or a ZT2800, you are holding a residential zero-turn mower, no matter how thick the fabricated deck looks or how famous the logo is on the engine shroud. If the answer is a verified ZT3100 or a ZT3400, you are officially looking at a machine engineered to work for a living. From there, back up your data by ensuring the engine is a true commercial series rather than a residential variant, verifying that the deck uses thick-gauge fabricated steel, and confirming that the factory warranty does not immediately vanish the second it crosses a commercial property line.